The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 11 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships, offering Buick GMC, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, and the resale division, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Penfield, Fairport, Canandaigua, Ontario, and Palmyra, and online at visionauto.com. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Every week at this time, we take a comprehensive look at sports in Section 5 in Monroe County, and we begin with an honor roll of high school teams. At number 3 this week, Fairport Boys Cross Country finished 7th in the large school seeded race at the McQuaid Invitational. Number 2, Gates Chi-Li Football won a game, first of the year, defeating UPrep. Jaquan Gilbert ran for 210 yards and scored 4 touchdowns for the Spartans. And at number 1, the defending Section 5 Class AA champion Webster Girls Soccer team, which has now won 10 in a row after an 0-2-1 start. In football, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you really have none. In baseball, 2 closers means you have none. For the Webster Schroeder Girls Soccer team, 2 goalies means that you have 2 exceptional performers.
Okay? So just these 3 need to time it better. Some of them are going to come short, some of them are going to be long, but the timing...
It isn't the way it's usually done. It's not the normal recipe for success. But the Webster Schroeder Girls Soccer team has 2 goalies. They both play in every game.
The last time we did anything like this was 17 years ago with Colleen Kelly and Jess Dunn, was the last time we actually flipped. And even then it was more of one would get one game and the other one would get the next game. I have never done it this way before, where we've taken each of the keepers and said each of you can have a half. We've never done it that way.
5 games into the season, senior Emily Willis Nersinger and junior Angel Bennett were in a starting rotation, but neither was particularly happy sitting out in alternate games.
At the beginning of the season, I wasn't really sure what was going on. Neither was Angel, and then we talked to Coach Brown, and he was trying to figure out if we should play full games and switch it, or if we should split times. And I think after that talk, we both really understood what was going on, and splitting times has been working really well.
I was okay with it because I knew it's her senior season, and I know that she loves the sport just as much as I do. And in my senior season, I would want the same thing if our roles were reversed. And also, I've been getting a few minutes out in the field too, 5 to 10 minutes per game on outside mid, so that kind of helps me deal with it all.
Have there been discussions, you and other coaches maybe, and they ask you how are you getting away with this, or how are you making this work, because maybe it's something I want to try?
No, I'm not sure anybody's noticed yet because we've done it very quietly and we've been trying to stay under the radar most of the season. So when they came to me and they said, let's give it a run, I was open to it. We've got a young team. I figured Emily being a senior, I'd definitely get her some time. And Angel's been great about it because she's a junior and she knows she's got another year behind her. And they've been fantastic with it.
In 2016, as a junior, Willis Nersinger gave up soccer for volleyball and almost immediately regretted it.
My parents supported it all the way. They knew in the end that I made the wrong decision, but I had to figure it out on my own, what I did, and I had actually Anna and her older sister that played with us the year before come and talk to me, and they were really encouraging me to go talk to Coach Brown. Coach Brown was really understanding about it.
Emily returning to the team put the incumbent keeper in a tough spot. Angel, you're the incumbent goalie. Emily comes back. What was going on in your head when that occurred?
Honestly, I was mad. I knew that she was a year older than me, and just her coming back from playing volleyball, for me, it felt like that she turned sides and totally left our team in the dust. So I was very frustrated, and I also didn't really know her at that point that much. We hadn't really talked, so I didn't have that friendship like I have with her now. So
what helped you get over that?
Well, last season, her training, her work rate was amazing, and she always encouraged not only me, but everybody on the field, and just her positivity really made me see how great of a teammate she was.
Bennett brings quickness and speed in the nets. Willis Nersinger, size and reach. Between them, they surrendered just 2 goals in the team's first 9 games. The Warriors were undefeated. Having successfully performed the King Solomon Act of dividing the time between his goalies, the coach plans to continue with the in-game rotation.
There's no reason to change. And as we get towards sectionals and we get towards playoffs, we'll talk to the girls again and we'll take it from there. But as far as I'm concerned, we're going to do it the rest of the regular season. We're just going to keep switching back and forth, and they both get playing time. They both get credits for the time in net, and they get the saves. And you know, our defense in front of them has been fantastic, which has helped, and everything's went well for us.
Yeah, you, Anna.
Good hold, Dad.
Coming back, good.
Coming up next, Paul Gotham with Pick and Splinters joins us for the Dunkin Donuts High School Notebook, and Kim Burnson has our Wegmans Making the Grade segment when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Dunkin' has lots of fall favorites to root for. Maple pecan, pumpkin, maple sugar bacon. But on game day, we root for one team. One team, baby. Win the fall, folks.
Welcome back to the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. It is time now for our Dunkin Donuts High School Notebook. And joining us is Paul Gotham from pickandsplinters.com. Paul, what you got on the website this week?
Crazy as it sounds, regular season's coming to an end for sectionals, so we'll have all the boys' soccer sectional previews, and we'll take everybody through with full coverage.
Boy, that is timely. I couldn't believe that the season, has just vanished.
September went by in a blur. Blink of an eye, it's over.
Yeah, football, the soccer teams are all finishing up their regular season this week. Look, I had totally forgotten. You reminded me that Jared Gerbino, we pay attention to the quarterbacks we send out of here in Section 5. He's actually quite the accomplished guy these days.
He scores we've taken the walk-off touchdown. We're applying the baseball term to football. Walk-off touchdown as Dartmouth beat Ivy League rival Penn. Jared out of the Wildcat formation, 4th and inches, 3 seconds to go, they give him the ball and he goes for the touchdown. Earlier in the drive, he had again out of the Wildcat formation a 27-yard gain on a 3rd and 4 yards play. So, yes, big accomplishments for Jared.
Yeah, how cool that is. I used to live up that way, and I'd seen a lot of Ivy League football, and it's good football. I mean, he's playing quality football up there.
There's no question. I mean, Cornell is right in our neck of the woods, and that name goes without saying as being quality football.
Our top team on our honor roll this week was the Victor Girls Soccer team, which is going for their 3rd straight sectional. You brought to mind that HFL boys are going for 4, huh?
Yeah, 4 titles. Mike Merrill's really putting together a great program there. This year they're doing it maybe the hard way. They've had some injuries. They've had the injury bug. Roth Wetzel, who was a first-team all-county player, went down earlier in the year. But here they are getting towards October. They've won 6 straight. Nico Coria has 6 shutouts. HFL's right in line again to win that title.
That whole athletic problem, it seems to me, gets a little lost in the shuffle.
And it can be because they are an A2 school. They haven't advanced. They haven't advanced into the states, so they do get a little lost in the shuffle there.
And it's mostly the size, because that A2, they're just a little bit smaller in classification than all the teams that we pay big attention to here.
Sure, and it's nice to see, though, HFL's finally peeking into the state top 20, and all it's going to take is for them to get a couple breaks in the postseason, and then it'll happen that they can get to the states.
Yeah, and we should give them credit. I mean, year in and year out, and right across the board, HFL has got a very successful athletic program.
Without question.
Well, Paul Gotham, thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Pickandsplinters.com.
Will do.
Paul Gotham, our guest on the Dunkin Donuts High School Notebook. Coming up, we salute our Wegmans Making the Grade nominee with Kim, and later, the Mighty Might of Churchville football, when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Welcome back, and thanks for watching the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for Making the Grade, brought to you by Wegmans. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field.
This week, we honor Spencerport's Josh Rabideau for making the grade. Josh is a standout on the volleyball court for the Rangers. He's received honors at the state and sectional tournaments and was a first-team all-county selection for 3 consecutive seasons. Last year, he was also the MVP of the division and an all-Greater Rochester selection. Josh trains year-round with his club volleyball team and ever since 5th grade has attended open gyms at least twice a week in the off months to improve his game, which seems to have greatly paid off for the Spencerport senior. Besides what he does on the court, he stays busy getting involved in school. He has served as a class treasurer on the Spencerport Budget Committee, and he took part in a New York State Leadership Conference. He ranks near the top of his class academically and has a schedule loaded with AP courses. Josh uses his free time to influence others through coaching youth programs at Spencerport and youth club volleyball teams. Nominated for his outstanding character and work ethic, this week Spencerport's Josh Rabideau is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them in to info@classywolf.com. Now here's Bill with the Section 5 calendar.
Here's the Section 5 calendar for the week ahead. In girls high school soccer, that 10 wins in a row Victor Blue Devils, they host the defending state Class A champion Spencerport at 6:30. That is a must-see. Girls volleyball, Fairport's at Penfield Thursday at 4:30. In field hockey, Webster Thomas is at Fairport. That's Thursday at 6:30. The Greece Invitational Cross Country Meet, hosted by Olympia, is at Hamlin Beach State Park Saturday at 4:30. That is the best of the Section 5 calendar for the week ahead. Here are the Vision High School Sports Beat Top 5 High School Football Plays of the Week, brought to you in cooperation with Varsity Media. For the best local coverage in Section 5 sports, visit varsitymedia.net. At number 5 this week, our workhorse of the week, Chris Verone of Victor playing against Webster Schroeder, 22 yards and a touchdown. Nothing spectacular on that run in particular, but he carried the ball 40 times, 218 yards in that game. It was an important game, too. Number 4, we have Brighton playing against Greece Athena. Amon Jordan, 38 yards and a touchdown run. Brighton won the game by a single point. And number 3, Spencerport and Eastridge. This is Eastridge going Sharon Davis to Rayshad Smith. 30 yards and a touchdown. And number 2, big play by fabulous Freddie June of Rondequoit playing against Brockport. Rondequoit wins this game just 14-7. Here's your difference. Freddie, on sort of an impromptu quarterback draw, goes 76 yards for the decisive score in that game. And at number 1, it's East High against Canandaigua. Pretty simple play. Quarterback throw it as far as you can and hope your receiver can run under it. So Kenny Wilson chucks it 50 yards. Jalen Holmes runs under it. 80 yards and a touchdown for East High. Coming up, the Saints play behind a running back who gets lost in the crowd when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Time now for a look at our honor roll of high school athletes. At number 3, Chris Verone, who carries the football at Victor. Verone ran for 218 yards on 40 carries, scoring twice in the Blue Devils' victory over Schroeder. Number 2, Felipe Hanich. Felipe scored the game-tying goal in a showdown with Brockport with just 45 seconds left in regulation and then bagged the overtime game winner. Hanich has 11 goals in the Barons' 10 games, 9 of those wins, the last 8 in a row. Now, number 1, Nathan Lawler, Pittsford men in cross country. Nathan was 3rd in the medium school seeded race at the McQuaid Invitational and as such claimed the Charlie McMullen plaque as the top Section 5 finisher in that race for the 3rd straight year. If you're up on your classic cartoon characters, then you know that Scrappy Doo is a dog and the undersized nephew of Scooby-Doo. He is small but tough because of his size. Scrappy Doo also plays a little football at Churchville-Chili.
Shot shade, up. Hey, man up. They man on the goal line. Yep. Jack, you're in the box. Jack, you're in the box. You're in the box.
He is listed at 5'5" and 155 pounds. The coach says he's not that big. Nicknamed Scrappy Doo, Dejir Mewborn of Churchville-Chili is one of the breakout stars in Section 5 football.
Daj has matured a lot this year. He's a real nice young man. He works hard. He's a strong kid. He works hard in the classroom. He's doing the right things on and off the field this year that I'm really proud of him. And I love that he's getting some success.
Mewborn's breakout game came against Gates Chili in Week 4. The Deer ran for 259 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. The Saints were 3-5 last year. They're 4-1 now, thanks, in no small measure, to Mewborn.
My mom always taught me from being little, if you want to do something and you just got to work hard at it. That's something I always believed in, working hard.
That attitude long ago helped him overcome, if that's the correct term, an obvious lack of size.
I really like where I'm at now. Being short, cocky, kind of could lose myself in the holes and stuff. Like it.
Yeah, there's a chip involved there, right? Yeah. I mean, you get people that tell you it's too small, and you say, well, I'm going to show people I'm not, right?
That was basically my whole point of when I first came on varsity. All these coaches, people around Churchville, always believed in me. Other people did not believe in me. My family and all of them just kept encouraging me. I can do it, and this is my year to show people that I can do it.
Was there ever a time you're a year older than him? Was there ever a time where you looked at him and says, this can't work, he's too small?
I mean, there was that at some point, but we knew from I started playing with him as a freshman, he was always a good player for us. I mean, he plays well above his size, and I think it shows.
Mewborn proves that size doesn't matter, and in some cases, the lack of can actually help.
Oh, he's a great back. As Coach said, he kind of just shoots through there. Nobody sees him, and we know if we open up a hole for him, he'll get yards, score for us.
Is it the kind of thing that, being an offensive lineman, that maybe you don't need to open up as big a hole, or the blocking scheme's a little bit different with a guy who's that quick?
Yeah, definitely. We just know, give him a second, he'll be through there, We like to get him out in space, let him use his speed, and it's been working for us.
He's a dynamic player. All coaches want players that can go out there and make plays, and he's definitely one kid that can make a big play at any time. He's not a very tall kid, and sometimes that's to his advantage because you really can't see him, and then he's so explosive, he shoots out like a shot out of a cannon, and it's too late at that point for the defense. So.
Is that simple that, because the coaches around the county aren't going to go outside. Boy, Churchville's making it work with a guy who's 5'5". Where's our 5'5" guy, right?
I mean, you get what you get in high school football, and he's one of our best players, and we're going to give him the ball as many times as we can, and hope he makes some plays.
Troy Jeffers is in his 3rd year as the head coach at Churchville. He had a lot of time to prepare for the success that he and his team are enjoying this year. Jeffers served a 21-year apprenticeship as an assistant at Gates Chili.
Well, I coached with some great guys at Gates, Jim Briggs, Jason Benham. I was 21 years there as an assistant. And, learning from those guys, I kind of had an idea what I wanted to do, but when you actually become the head coach, there's a lot of things that you didn't realize, you have to do, and I think a lot of things come at you at once. But I felt I was ready, learning from those guys.
Well, 21 years you better be, right?
Yeah, 21 years you better be, so yeah.
With wins against East, Webster Thomas, Gates Chili, and Rush, Churchville has already eclipsed its win total from a year ago. The team didn't win last year. If you flip the script, you got a chance to make some noise. This is better this way, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely better to win. It's always fun to come out here and play, but when it's zero on the scoreboard or on the time clock and we're up, it's a great feeling.
Good. Get downhill, now. Good job, Don.
For the year, Mewborn has run for 453 yards in 5 games, an average of 91 yards a game, 8.7 yards per carry, with 5 touchdowns. We'd like to thank our sponsors, especially the 11 dealerships of the Vision Automotive Group. They make the Sports Beat possible, as do you. Thanks once again for watching. We'll see you next week with the Vision High School Sports Beat.